Welcome to the Conversation Lab.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Conversation Lab. We're here again with another juicy, interesting topic, and I know you can't wait to hear our views on this one. But just before I dive into the topic for today, I've got my panelists here, my favorite panelists. You already know that. I've got Donald right there.
Hello, guys.
I've got Onome just beside me, and I've got Joseph just beside me as well. So today's topic is quite an interesting one. So I'll just dive into it straight up. So it's about sexual compatibility that changes over time. Yeah, you heard that. So when desire drops and the partner who still wants sex feels rejected, and when one partner wants to explore, but the other one is not comfortable exploring other sex styles, or the shame around admitting boredom or dissatisfaction, or the shame of not, having orgasm in bed. So, um, I just want to hear our views. What do you think? So I'll start with Onome first. What do you think?
Why are you starting with me now? My people. Why are you starting with me? Okay, I think the topic is quite a decent one, as you've said. But for me, I think it depends on the people involved. Like what works for you doesn't work for me, and so vice versa. So I would say as couples, there shouldn't be anything that's too difficult to talk about.
Yeah.
If you're not getting orgasm, speak about it, talk about it. You shouldn't be shy. That's why I say it depends on the family, depends on the couples involved, depends on the dynamics of the home. Because if you're not free with your spouse, it's very difficult to let them know that you're not okay.
Okay. Okay.
But if you're friends and you guys practically talk about everything, it should be easy peasy. You should be able to say, guy, this is what you do, so you know enter.
Okay, I'll come back to you again. I'll come back to you. So, Donald, what do you think? What's your take on this?
I was thinking about this particular topic before we had to talk about it. It was because it's a very sensitive one, and I will agree with Onomed to a very large extent that it has to do with communication with your partner. If things aren't going well, you should talk about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, and again, supporting each other, I think, is key. Because if I'm low in morale, don't want to use very high language now. If I'm low in morale, right? I believe, I believe my spouse should be technical enough to help me out. Okay. Is the relationship thing in there. Do you get it? Yeah. There are some times that I'm not just in that mood. She wants it. She should be able to,
Spice things up.
Spice things up. Yeah, exactly. Now you see the spicing is really difficult now to say. You should be able to spice it. So again, it all depends on the communication. It all depends on your partner
It depends on
actually
the family.
know
people
you
involved.
as well. Then I think that's just
because not
best way to
everybody's
go.
able to talk about stuff in their marriage. Some people run their homes as though it's a military regime. So that's why I say it depends. So in situations like that, it's very difficult to talk about it.
Okay. Okay.
Because one person determines what happens. You can't. Some people they're afraid to speak to their partner about some stuff because of the way the home is run. But if it's like they're friends, they can. It's easy to talk about.
Okay. So thank you, Donald. So Joseph, what do you think? What's your take on this as well?
I think if desire drops, it's bound to happen at some point. There's sometimes when one party is not really there, probably mentally, because of
stress or something.
mental stress or whatever, they're not there, and maybe the other party at that point in time really wants to have sex. Like Donald said, it's again you that wants to have sex. You need to understand that not every time everybody wants to have, not every time everybody's at that same level of wanting to have sex, right? So if you want to have sex, then you need to do some more work to bring the other party into that same mood that you're in. Fine, sometimes it won't work. Then you should also be able to understand that there will be times when I will be in his situation or in her situation. So, it's all about understanding. As long as both partners understand that we will not always be in sync when it comes to sex all the time. There'll be times when one will be down, one will be up, and all that. So understanding is key. And then in terms of when people feeling, ashamed to talk about, they don't get satisfied, don't get according to Bridgerton, they don't get to
Pinnacle.
Pinnacle.
they don't, if they don't get if I don't think it should be. I don't think you guys are together in this thing, right? Like Donald said, it's a relationship. You should be able to talk about anything with your spouse. So if you feel like you are faking orgasms,
You
At
shouldn't
the end
need
of-
to fake orgasm. Why
at the-
would you even put yourself through that stress?
exactly.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's yourself you're doing. Like Onomege said, you're not helping yourself. So speak about it. If you think you're not getting there, there are other ways to get there, and most people then tend to forget that it's not
It's not about
all
sex.
about sex. There are ways to get there. There are ways. That's why people talk about foreplay, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. You gradually. Some people just want to go in to the thing, finish and go. But sometimes it's supposed to be. Sometimes it should be a process because you gradually go from 0, then you get to 100. So that's my take.
Okay, so nice take. So I'll ask another question. So I think one of the questions we also asked about, we talked about, was the fact that what if, see, for example, you have a guy or you have a lady, you were previously dating this person before you go married to this particular lady or particular man. And in your previous relationships, you've been having different styles, umbrella style, whatever style that is available on earth,
Yeah.
And then you got married to this, beautiful lady or beautiful man, or sorry, handsome man, and then it's just, how do they call that position? Missionary style that you guys are doing, And the man is like, this is not the style that I've been used to, What do you think? Like, what should you do in such scenario? Let's say it's you in that situation.
Okay.
What should you do? What's your take?
Okay, let me answer. This is one of the major reasons the Bible says abstain before you get married.
Sure.
Because if you've not tasted anything before marriage,
compare.
there's nothing for you to compare. This is one of the. I am very sure this is one of the reasons God told us to abstain. So, but if peradventure you do not abstain, all things are past away. If you give your life to Christ, all things are past away. You're not married. It's your cross, oh. If you cannot get to that person to understand, because not everybody, because some people see that any type of a missionary is a sin.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's what some people think.
So we don't see that.
Yeah.
Donald.
Okay. Even foreplay, some people think it's a sin. So if you are peradventure married to that person, God will help you. For me, I don't know that.
I think I've heard that somewhere where the people say sex is absolutely for copulation.
So
Yeah. Okay.
So in that, but if someone you can talk to, you can there are books that you can read. There are books you can read that will help you. Then you can also talk to your spouse like this. Can we try this? So it still boils down to communication. Then friendship. How people relate?
Okay, so
if it's like a military regime, you just be like that.
So which is so that means that means for you there's room for you both to learn.
You learn, explore.
While doing it, even if the person says
you can only explore when the other person wants to explore. That's why I say it has to do with it has to communication, then willingness to adapt comes into play. If you are stuck on it's only missionary style, my guy. Go be like that
of course. And then
and I think that's why some people cheat. I know it's not an excuse to cheat, but this is one of the excuses people give. That's why they cheat. Their partner is not giving them what they want. So
okay. So Joseph, what do you think? Based on this topic, this question I've just asked now, like in terms of like different sexual positions, should we just be stuck on one, or there's room to learn, there's room to explore? Again, it depends, like what you said, it depends on what works for you. But if you have a spouse who loves not just one style, wants to explore,
loves to climb the ceiling,
what do you do? And okay, mind you, I would rephrase the question. Your spouse loves to explore, but you're the kind of lady that you don't like exploration. You're just focused. You just want to do one style. do you think you should compromise? Because for me, I think you should compromise because it cannot just be your own way. Yeah, you know what do you
Same
think,
for the other
Joseph?
person.
Yeah, of course.
So there have to be.
There have to be a middle point. Yeah.
It's the same. That's exactly the same thing. You guys always have to talk about it. Like I said, both parties will. There's no way. Obviously, there are some rare cases where both parties like the exact same thing. But
Yeah.
it will not always be that way. There are certain styles that one party will favor over the others. So it all depends on how you guys talk about it. You guys will always have to meet, halfway. Maybe sometimes you do more of what he likes, then some other times you do more of what she likes. It's all communication. You guys have to talk. The most important thing is talking about it. Talking about it, and as long as you talk about it and decide, agree, between yourselves that you're going to work on it, you're going to try different styles, or you're not going to try different styles, depending on whatever it is that you guys decide. If you decide that it's missionary all the way.
But then again, I think that sometimes it's not like one party doesn't want it. The person might be shy to talk about it.
Yeah,
Understanding your partner matters.
Exactly.
If you understand your partner, like it's not like this person doesn't want it, but to bring up the topic of issue, you can help the person like bring up the issue so the topic so people discuss about it.
And that's what talking about it will help you guys do. If you suspect, or if let's even assume that one party thinks this person doesn't like doing this, but just talk about it. You'll be surprised that when you talk, then they now open up and say, by the way, I've been thinking about this, but I just didn't know how to say it. Because I've also heard some people say that they consider they can't ever see themselves giving their partner like a head job or like oral sex or something. They can never think about it. They don't even want to hear it because they don't think it's normal, Someone has actually said that to me. So yeah, it all depends on communication.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going by the example that you gave, right? The way I would probably look at it from is before, I don't know, I can't remember exactly the way you painted it, but it looks like one was already having it before the other one doesn't, right? Again, communication comes in there, but that communication has to come before you actually go in, right? Because if I don't know, I mean, scientifically we are wired very differently. Some people have very high libido. Some people have some people have very low one. They are not just in the mood. Why if you are up there and you are going for somebody that's low,
never in the mood.
that's a big issue. Because you can't, in that situation, you can't actually turn that person on. That's the truth. Yeah, you do it today, and it's just going to feel like you are bothering him. Because he's not naturally wired that way. So if I understand that I am very high up there, I need somebody that's at least in the middle or very close to me to be able to survive.
But you know what the issue with that, what you've just said is, if the person that is very high up there has tasted it before marriage, and the other person, the person doesn't even know. So even if you're talking about, the person doesn't even know. The person have high libido. Like for example, like let's say I'm the one I'm not married, we're about to get married. You're telling me I don't even know. So I don't even know if my libido is high or if it's low. So any discussion at that point doesn't even make sense.
No, but
the only thing you cannot tell me is that after we get married, we'll talk about it. Then if I have low libido, we'll look for ways or things we can do. But talking about it before to me, it doesn't make any sense because I don't even know.
No, but the way I understand it to be, right? People naturally, I don't know, but this is the way I feel about women. I think probably most of these, because you're actually here. The way I reason it is that first one is you are thinking about it in a very like it's delicate, probably maybe it's painful. I don't know. That's the way I feel. I'm not a woman. Anyways, right? And for me, if somebody is coming to me and they are talking about sex, and they're telling me I'm a woman, honestly, and all you keep saying like if we enter on that side, I'm going to finish you. That's a very strong red flag. We've not even started. I don't even know my mentality about this stuff is that I know it's going to be painful.
Wow,
and this guy is coming to me telling me that this is my life. This is my life. It's a red flag. So that's why I should be very. If I were to be that lady, I should be asking myself the question: is this actually the right person for me? Because
is that of course.
Is this so? Again, it's very key that you had that because what that conversation actually signifies that person is absolutely on the high side. You don't know your strength. You don't even know your strength.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it's a red flag. And if I were to be that lady, I should be warming up to be On that high side, then if I think I'm not going to survive it, I just like,
You
okay,
just
brother,
push.
please
Oh
find a
my
way.
God. I'll
Yeah.
pack.
But I
Again,
still feel that sensitivity still comes into play because, in as much as you have high libido, sometimes the other person is not just in that mood, not
Yeah.
in that space.
Mm.
So that your high libido, you put it in check
Yeah.
sometimes.
Can we now say, is that why there's quite a high rate of infidelity, one? And secondly, people finding alternative that isn't actually cheating.
No, of course, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it
I
from the
think so.
perspective.
25%.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from the perspective of way back in the 90s. It wasn't as
Nobody-
rampant as this, but now it's everywhere.
Mm.
Oh, I'm not getting that satisfaction. I know what to do.
Yeah.
For me, if I am not getting the satisfaction I want, why don't I speak to my partner about it?
What if your partner is not playing ball?
He will play ball. I'm not gonna play. Tell me for better, for better. Play ball. How would he play ball?
Okay.
No.
No, we have to come to a meeting point. We have to it's not with the way the world is now, it's not every time we're even thinking about sex. There are other things to think about.
Yeah. So, in respect to your question, Donald, the one you just asked, and this leads me to another question in terms of like, you just had sex with your spouse, and it wasn't pleasant. You were not satisfied. It was boring, basically. Do you think? I want you to comment on the comment section. Do you think it is right, to speak to your spouse and say, okay, this one, no enter, you should have started from like this. Then you can, for me, I feel like you should speak to your partner, because then you are not communicating how you would love to be treated in the room. Probably you want it from a certain way before you not move into, driving, So, but what do you think? Or do you think you should just ask your partner, or just chill and say, what, I'll try and figure it out, another time.
No.
Don't have work there.
No. So again,
I'll come to you,
it is very key, right? And for couples, if you want your relationship and your marriage to last, these are some of the things you cannot shy away.
But your partner might not tell
No,
you.
no, that's what I'm
But
saying.
you should be able
That's
to
what,
sense.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's a two-way thing, right? If you did a very good job, you will know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you've not gotten there, you will also know.
Sometimes
Yeah.
women fake it.
Yeah, no,
Which is
it's
not
true.
good.
Which is not good, anyways. But that's what you should be true to each other. Now, going by what you said, right? I believe that people should be able to tell their spouses what's good for them. Do you get it? Oh, I like you to touch me here. I like you to. That's the way I want it to be, right? It should be communicated, because if I don't know,
Next time I'll do us.
there is one.
That's true, because I don't know.
Yeah, there's what is generally called G-spot, right? You should you should know that. You should know what works for your partner. I'm not saying that he's probably going to do it all the time, obviously, because sex is not about the 1 hour marathon race. There are just sometimes where it comes like, and that's all done. But if you're having that quality time together and you just want to, actually create that special time together, you should be able to know what works for each other and make it happen.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Olome, you're going to say something.
Okay, but what you asked, it's like I said, it's still we are not just talking about the perfect scenario. It still depends on the kind of partner. There's some partners when you tell them like this, I didn't get it. They might see. I think that's why some people don't speak up, because the other person might see like, I've seen some movies and I've heard stories like, is that all you think about?
Yeah.
No, it happens. It happens.
Something like that, yeah.
In cases like that, what do you want the person to do? Because, and sometimes I still feel like that's one scenario, and that scenario is how do you say it that it doesn't come across as though you're being rude is not the word. There's a way you tell someone that this thing that you've done, I'm not okay with it. The person will feel embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could also be the reverse, that the person is not thinking like, this is my wife, where did I get this? I don't know. Be like,
So-
she too spoiled. I'm speaking our local pidgin English there for.
So you get, so it's kind of dicey. So that's why understanding your partner comes to play too. Because there are some partners that you will tell, say, you look at I look before you do one small thing. So I say, this is my wife, never they work her, or this is my husband, never they work her. This one will say, they satisfied again. But then again, our libido change. I think it changes over time.
It changes.
Sometimes it might be high and sometimes it might be low.
Of course.
So when your partner's libido becomes too high, as if it's going high, don't go and be thinking that we just don't need.
Let's go outside.
And do some kind
I'm not into that. Sometimes people may not really think about much. These things it has a lot to do with your mental state, right?
Yeah.
If you are in, I don't know, you just got a very terrible news at work or something, and then you get home and your partner is wanted to.
That would be the last thing on your mind.
It's not gonna happen.
Or maybe you're tired, you're having headache. Somebody's talking about sex.
Or you are,
as a sound.
Like how?
So understanding comes to play.
Yeah. Communication.
And you too, it's not every time you have headache. Sometimes, no, it's true. Sometimes, no, not today you have headache, they left. Tomorrow you have headache. Next tomorrow. You say, consider the sort of man.
Sorry, I have a question, right? And it's a pointer from the script that we have. It said, when one partner wants to explore, but the other is uncomfortable.
Now, where I'm actually driving this to, if two people marry as virgins, do we think there's a time where one wants to explore more?
Yes.
Of course.
So where does that come in?
No. Everybody is different.
Okay.
There are times when you watch movies, right? Or you read books, or you hear people talk, right? So somehow
your brain begins to form that mental picture.
Okay.
Apart from that, it's inbuilt already.
Yeah. Although it being inbuilt, I'll probably disagree because I think it's more to do with what you hear, you see, you read. Because
what you hear
years ago, when our forefathers, parents, everybody was miserable.
Nobody was satisfied.
No, you think
I'm not saying that they were satisfied because most of the our great grandparents and all that, most times is they believed that the woman's duty. They believed that sex was just for giving birth to children. Nothing else, So in that case, they were not necessarily doing it to be satisfied.
Yeah.
They were just doing it to make a child. So that's what I'm saying. I don't really think, it's because we say if it's inborn, right? If it's in, but then they should have also been thinking about.
I said so because nobody really teaches people how to. You just know what to.
Exactly. So you start to want to explore unconsciously because of probably what you've heard people say, what you say, and what
they play. Okay, so the next question is also directed to around the same thing, right? Where I'm going to be very straight. Where a woman says that the husband is not big enough. You know what I mean? Right?
God says.
Okay. No, it's true. It's true. I've heard this. I've heard this. Right? And I've heard this. And you people met for the very first time. My question: how do you know? What's the unit of measurement?
Yo, gauges. No, she's not asked like this.
Just exactly. That's what I'm going to. We don't know because we're actually exploring some of the things here we don't know, obviously, right? And we're asking you might know probably.
Tell us, please, in the comments.
Tell us. But if I marry as a virgin and I've only known my husband and my husband is like this, that is the unit of measurement. Right? So does that mean that probably maybe you've been exposed to maybe books and movies?
I think that's what Joseph was talking about. What you see,
Mm.
what you hear.
Another thing too.
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
The way the world is these days, right?
Yeah.
Just notice adverts. Notice certain things. Notice it's all celebrities and all that. They all tend to paint this picture that a guy has to be a certain size to be the it guy. But if you really talk to most people, it's just for show.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask my next question. So I think one of the things I mentioned at the start was desire. When your desire is low and the other person wants to, have sex and feels rejected because the other person's desire is low. I've heard, some popular, I don't know if it's popular beliefs or something or superstitious that when most especially women after childbearing, their libido like goes a bit low, probably because of so much responsibilities from the mom's perspective, from the mom's side. Do you think that's the case first? Do you think that belief is actually true? And then, if the desire is low, what do you do as the spouse? Let's assume it's the lady's libido that is very low. And then the spouse, who happens to be the man, his libido is high and feels rejected because obviously he can't have it from his wife. What do you do in that scenario?
Okay, first and foremost, that myth that says after childbirth the libido drops, it's not true. It depends.
Depends
Some
on the
people's zone
individual.
goes up, some people drop, some people's zone remain the status quo. Nothing changed. So for me, I feel like if you feel like your wife's libido has dropped, did you bother checking
Ask
why?
them.
If it's stress from household, help out.
Very
You
true.
can't expect me to clean the house, look after
And
everything,
still come to
and
bed.
that's it as how. So help out, yeah, it helps. So, but
Perfect. Do you have any thoughts, or you are with Onome on this one?
No, I'm with her.
Okay.
I'll just probably maybe say it in another way to be also considerate
yeah,
as well, right?
Considerate.
This
Yes,
woman
please
has
do.
she's done carried the baby for 9 months.
Mm.
I understand that obviously as a man, because we are not recommending you going outside of your marriage, so you are probably going to wait, right? Within that time. Maybe you usually have it quite often, but she was heavy. She's
Yeah,
not going to be able
yeah.
to, carry that weight or that load from
Yeah.
you at that particular point in time. So you were patient with her. She's
That's a
now,
good one, Donald.
yeah, she's now had a baby,
Yeah.
and obviously she's still healing. I've been on that labor room, so I understand exactly how it is. So it's not quite easy. You have to be considerate. Yeah, if you survive 9 months, give another week.
With time.
Yeah, with time.
You can have it all, whatever
Yeah.
style, whatever position. But yeah, I think we've done justice to this topic. But before we wrap up, do you have any contributions or questions that you think we've not touched so far? Donald, Onome, Joseph, what do you think? Or are we all good?
Yeah, I think we're all good. I mean, we've said quite a lot. It's now time for the viewers to actually, probably maybe we've not touched any part and you feel that we should have discussed. Feel free, put it on the comment section. We probably have, because it's a very vast topic.
Yes.
We can't cover it in one.
might revisit the topic
we might
again
revisit. So if
sometime.
you feel that we've not really and you wanted to ask the question, feel free. Don't be shy.
Okay, just before we go, just before we wrap up in the next few minutes, I'll just ask a quick question. It's just a yes or no from you guys. Do you think it's okay to watch porns as married couple and as Christians? Do you think it's okay to watch porns, and is it okay to use sex toys? Please do not.
As a married couple, yes, because we don't know it all.
So you can watch porn and use sex toys.
No, I can't recommend sex toys, honestly, because it means I'm saying I'm dead. Right? I'm alive. What am I there for?
They will come for you. Because sex toys does not really mean that.
Come for me,
No,
please.
he's saying for him.
Yeah, for me. Yeah, that's my
That's
personal. That's my opinion. Yeah, I'm alive, so I want to be active.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're okay for porn, even
yeah,
as
because
a
I
married
feel
couple
just
as a Christian.
I don't
As
know
a
it all.
Christian as well.
I don't know it all.
Okay, that's
I
good.
don't know it all.
Onome, what's your take?
For me, it's a no. Because
For which of them, please?
for both.
Okay.
For the porn, over time you see people get addicted to
Yeah,
it.
true, though.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So let's use ourselves as if we will learn whatever we want to learn by ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't need to see anybody do, because sometimes the pictures of what you see, there's a way it start playing in your mind. So for me to no. Then for that sex toy to no.
Complete no.
No.
Okay.
Because it all still boils down to addiction. At the point you get addicted to
Yeah, I
it.
think addiction is really very
Okay.
true. Yeah.
And then Joseph, what's your?
I think in terms of sex toys, I think I would agree with him. But some time ago, I would have said I don't think there's anything wrong with it if both parties,
Yeah.
it's not like one party is doing it because the other party is not satisfying them. There are sex toys that both partners can use, just to spice things up for them together, not solo. So in that case, if it's sex toys that both parties use during their sex time, and they're trying different positions at home, I don't really have an issue with that one. But if it's when either partner, on their own time, because probably one partner didn't satisfy them enough, and then they decided to go and complete the job.
Yeah.
For that one, I think it's a no. And then for porn, I think this is one of the
Controversial.
It's
controversial because, like Donald quietly rightly said, there are different these days. There's so many different type of things that you see on the internet.
Yeah.
Some are there are some that are so you said
educational,
yeah. There are some that are educational, or there are some that are just complete nonsense.
I'm not talking about the ones that are education. I'm talking about the one that also that people will be watching and they, they would want to,
So what I mean by the ones that are not educational, there are some that are just know these guys are just doing what is not. It's nonsense. Like, for instance,
It's biologically nonsense.
it's nonsense. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are some that are educational? Either because earlier we talked about some scenario where some people they don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
What other options there are.
Yeah.
So there are some that are educational in the sense that they teach a couple that, by the way, these are different ways that you can do these things. If you are having problems doing this way, these are the other ways that you can do it. You cannot show somebody, you cannot just tell me with mouth
Yeah.
only. Sometimes if you show me what you're talking about, I will understand it better. So there are some that are for that purpose. So those ones, I don't see any issue. Like if the couple are doing it together, like they're watching it.
So sorry, that's the one I
So
was making
if it's-
reference to.
So
Sorry,
if it's the educational one, obviously would be both parties will be naked in that educational video that used to be watching.
Yes.
Right? As a Christian, I don't think it is right to watch such. That's
So
me.
why? What's
That's
what's
me.
the reason why?
You might have different views from myself. What? Because again, first of all, watching it, does it bring you pleasure? First, most times, when you carry out studies or ask, let's say, 10 people, out of 10 people, 9% of those people will tell you, or rather 95% of those people will tell you, oh, they got pleasure from watching that. First off, those people are naked. If you want to teach somebody, how to do whatever they need to do in the bedroom, there are other ways to teach them.
What?
How? You can teach them by just, write-ups. These are different.
Let me explain. Let me give you a scenario. It has nothing to do with sex. There's something that they call stoma in care. They'll tell if anytime you go for trainings, they don't do it. They just tell you, they'll show that this is the way you do it. When you get to the field, you will know that it's a different theory and practical. They are two different things. It's just like teaching somebody how to drive. So if you do not practicalize it,
You can walk. You can. So just to cut you. You said, yeah, I forgot the exact word you used, but paraphrasing now, you get aroused. What I said was both partners. It's not like one partner is somewhere watching it and the other partner doesn't know. Both partners are sat down with instructors. They are not by themselves. They are sat down with instructors. Do you know that when
The
people
instructors
go,
are they live
do you
instructors?
No. I'm not. The instructors are not.
Just
So you remember
online videos.
facilitators instead of instructors. The facilitators invite them to the room. They play it on the screen for them to watch. So facilitators are sitting down. They introduce what the couple are about to watch, and then couple sit down and watch.
I think I've heard a story like that. You have to teach two married couples.
No, it's a real thing.
Real
thing.
thing.
It's a real thing.
Do they do
And
it?
then
They don't know what to do.
And then the other thing I was gonna say is, I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Anyway, it's you. What are you getting aroused? Like, what's arousing you? you are sitting there with your partner, with a facilitator. They're explaining things for you. You're something
Just
else
like
wrong with you. Exactly, biology.
Okay.
So
I think I was getting you wrong. What I was saying was, let's say you were watching an online video where they were training you on how to have sex.
No. I'm talking about like proper.
If the person was there, yeah, that's okay. It's just like films as well. So, but please let us know what you think. Do you think it's okay for us to watch porn? And also, what do you think about when your desire drops and your partner still wants sex? What do you do? That we've given several scenarios, on this video. Please let us know what do you think, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please do. And until next time, take care. Bye.
Bye.